Mary looked absolutely resplendent in the Pearl Poiré tiara as she hosted her first state visit for the Icelandic president. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Royal Fashion News, where we all have a passion for royal fashion. And today is a belated Tiara Tuesday, where we are going to talk a bit about Mary's recent look and the Pearl Poiré tiara, which has a very sweet history. And as I was looking at it, I was like, okay, I think I kind of see why this was the first Mary wore once she became the consort. And so we are going to get into this, but I did want to give a shout out today to Ana Lucia Diamonds because I'm trying to drip in diamonds today, because when I watch these tiara videos and I see the tiara glitter, all I can think is, I want that glitter for myself. I want that glitter for myself. And Ana Lucia does give it. And of course, so I have my rings here. My eternity band especially is one of my absolute favorites. And I also put on today my charm bracelet, which looks kind of like the Tiffany one from Tiffany & Co. But it does have an actual lab created diamond there and says Diamond Girl. If you don't know, Ana Lucia is all lab created diamonds, and so you shall see the earrings and necklace and everything. So if you guys are interested in any of that, feel free to follow the link up above, and if you use code ROYAL20 you shall save 20%. And of course, Christmas is coming up, so if you have wish lists you want to make for people, or if you just want to be shopping for yourself, because let's be honest, I shop for myself too around the holidays. Sometimes I shop for myself more than I shop for other people, to be quite honest. Was that embarrassing? Maybe. If you are interested, feel free to follow the links up above and check out some of their amazing pieces. But let's get back to the historic royal bling. Because yes, we all need our own royal blinks. Trust me, guys, when this stuff sparkles in the sunlight, it like just makes my heart sing, or like really good lighting. Oh, my heart sings so much. But when it comes to Mary, obviously she was wearing, for the second time since becoming queen earlier this year, the Pearl Poiré tiara. So I have done a whole other video on that, which I will link up above, but I will go ahead and give you guys some quick little historical beats here. So this tiara was a wedding gift to Princess Lucia of Prussia in 1825 for her marriage to Prince Frederick of the Netherlands. I know you're thinking Denmark, right? No, this is actually the Netherlands. And so it was made up of 18 pearl-shaped or pour pendants pearls, and also had an accompanying brooch. And many said I saw it on Twitter especially, that the tiara looks somewhat like the Cambridge Lover's Knot or Queen Mary's Lover's Knot. I still always catch myself calling it the Cambridge, but it's Queen Mary's Lover's Knot because the Cambridge Lover's Knot was different. It does have some similar elements, but I feel like it's more similar to the Vladimir tiara. So it does have obviously the arches and the diamonds and the dangling pearls, but the pearls are bigger than the ones in the lover's knots. And the lover's knots are particular because of the lover knot symbol that is within them, which this particular tiara doesn't have. But it does have obviously a connection to love through Princess Louisa and her marriage to Prince Frederick. Whether or not they liked each other all that much, of course, is a different question when it comes to royalty. But so it eventually made its way over to Sweden and then Denmark in 1869 through the marriage of Princess Louisa, the granddaughter of Princess Louise of Prussia, for her marriage to Crown Prince Frederick of Denmark. So grandmother and granddaughter both married Prince Frederick, one crown, one knot, from two different countries. So yes, very similar names in royal land. So over the years, the set grew to include a gorgeous necklace and a pair of earrings as well. So this was worn frequently by Queen Margrethe over the years. And it was one she wore for her Golden Jubilee, for a particular concert service that she went to. And I believe she wore it for the last time at the New Year's Day gala, which was obviously after she announced New Year's Eve that she was going to abdicate. So it was the tiara she chose to wear for the final time as queen. Now, we have not seen her at a tiara event since, so I don't know actually what tiara she'll be wearing now. She did have an accident recently at one of the castle properties, and so she has damaged some vertebrae in her neck, although she did make an effort to go and visit the Icelandic president while they were there. The Nordic countries, so this would include Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Denmark. They are called the Nordic countries. I know some people have complained that that's not right. It is right. When I was in Sweden for the King's Golden Jubilee, that time they also used the term Nordic countries to describe them, because actually the president, prime minister, I'm not sure which, of Finland and the president of Iceland were also there at the event, and actually were on the balcony with the rest of the royals, which I thought was really kind of odd, to be quite honest. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But so there is a strong and historical connection between these countries. In fact, many of the languages, especially, well, I would say Norwegian and Swedish are very similar. Finland is a little bit similar. Icelandic is very, very different than the rest. And Danish is also quite different. But Anyway, very, very cool thing to have them all here. And obviously, Margaretha wanted to pay her respects, even though because she damaged the vertebrae in her neck, she broke her wrist, she couldn't really participate in the full event. So we don't know again what tiara she might wear in the future. So the necklace that Mary wore at this particular event, which is a gorgeous diamond necklace, is part of the crown jewels of Denmark, which is on permanent display at Rosenborg Palace. The necklace is likely the grand diamond Rewear necklace per the court jeweler. It was made in 1840 with diamonds belonging to Princess Charlotte Amalie of Denmark, a daughter of King Frederick IX and sister of King Christian XI. This means that the diamonds have been in the family since at least the 1700s. And that's what's so cool about so many of these historic sets is that oftentimes the pieces, yes, their current home and whatever jewelry set has been created for them might be somewhat newer, but sometimes the diamonds have been, or the jewelry, the gemstones themselves have been in the family for so long. That means they're really, really quality gemstones. Often the color is richer than some of the stuff we might find today. And it's just so interesting to consider that how long some of this stuff has been in the families, how good of quality it is. And I would love to actually it would be my dream to go to a museum or something, or even one of these palace estates if they'd let me, and get some really good quality pictures of what you could see of maybe perhaps the wear and tear, the old cutting of the stones. Particularly emeralds are very soft stones, so I'm sure you could see actually a lot of marks on them. I'd be curious how many marks you might be able to see on the Napoleonic amethyst tiara in Sweden, because the amethysts have been around since the court of Napoleon. So I imagine they've had a little wear and tear over time. So I think it would just be really cool to see the reflection of the age in terms of the wear on the stones. Not in a bad way, but they've been used. And they've been used by women of the family. I always think it's kind of cool that, yes, the titles technically mostly pass between the men, but when it comes to the women, we get the diamonds. We get the diamonds. And the earrings are part of from the same Poiré, although in a smaller setting. So there, I guess, are larger earrings that Mary could have worn, but she wore the smaller settings. And they belonged originally to Queen Julian Marie, who served as consort Denmark and Norway from 1752 to 1766. Wow, it's just so cool. And the pieces were made apparently by C.M. Weishaupt. So very interesting there. And I love particularly her dress here. And now, if you guys are curious, and thank you all for your support, those who have followed on Royal Fashion News on Instagram. I'm trying to be much more ambitious on doing fashion IDs, because I used to, as many, I'm sure you did as well, rely on Royal Fashion Police for some of that information. But they have decided, and obviously it's their prerogative to do so, to go fully subscriber based. So they will only give IDs if you subscribe to them. I'm not really interested in that model. And I stopped doing the IDs because essentially the Royal Fashion Police were doing it better. And so I'm like, well, I can't really compete with somebody who's on top form. But obviously, when it comes to free versus subscriber, people tend to like free things. So I am starting to do fashion IDs myself. Sometimes I still use like unidentified no more. I will usually look through their account because I'm like, I've seen this before. Where is it? And I look through and I find it. And so I am utilizing them as well as a resource. And I'm trying to do my own IDs. Sometimes I look out and sometimes I don't. So I try to do the best I can. And obviously, I don't think I can do all the royal ladies because there is so much activity going on right now. I just can't totally keep up with between this and the other channels and all the sorts of things. But my plan is to try to get that really, really up and running. And there will be no paid model for that. If there is ever a subscriber model, I always believe subscriber models should give you something beyond the base of what you're already getting. That's just my personal philosophy. That's all to say. If you would like to give us a follow over on Royal Fashion News on Instagram, that would be awesome. It just helps increase viewership and engagement and everything as I try to grow a bit of that channel and profile. And I'm excited to see where that goes. Really excited to see where that goes. So, and then we wanted to, of course, talk about gown. And this was quite cool because the designer of the gown reposted what I shared about it. So this is Jesper Høring. So he created the asymmetrical neckline embellished top that we have here. And I really like this. She actually wore this somewhat recently for Crown Prince Christian's 18th birthday gala, which was actually just last year around this time. And she wore the bedazzled skirt that goes with it. So the embellished skirt that goes with it. But this time she decided to pair it with an Oscar de la Renta tiered ruffle gala skirt in midnight blue. So throughout this whole visit, Mary definitely rewore things. That seemed to be a great emphasis, is not wearing anything new. Actually, Mary and Frederick have been super busy. And so I do like the skirt. I think I just prefer the original pairing of the embellished top and the embellished skirt. Just my opinion, but I appreciate when people are trying to be creative. And Mary rewears things and kind of redoes things, I think, in a really interesting way. I loved how she redid her lavender gown or a lilac gown for the Norwegian state visit. Oh, so absolutely love that. And so she paired it with a Prada satin Rosso clutch, which is a rewear, and Jimmy Choo Romy pumps in navy. Now, I will say when I saw some of the pictures, it looked like actually navy velvet, which was a GM Vito Rossi pair that were navy velvet. It's sometimes really hard. What I find somewhat interesting in some of these fashion IDs is that they're saying, oh yeah, it's this one. And I'm looking at the pictures and I know pretty much where to find all the pictures. Like I'm really good at sourcing pictures now, figuring out where things are from, utilizing Build Blotted and a whole bunch of different things. And I'm looking at this stuff going, how are you getting that? I was like, I can't tell if it's the 85 or 105. How can you? Are you sure that? So all that to say is as I do this more myself, just realize some of it is absolutely 100% accurate and some of it occasionally I would take with a grain of salt because you only get a little bit of a picture of that shoe. And if you can't see more of it, you're really just guessing. You have an educated guess. I would have guessed either a pump that had, and especially I'm thinking of particular image of Crown Princess Mary recently where I saw the pump and I'm like, okay, that could be a reflection of the light, which means it would be patent leather, or it could be a shoe like an Aquazzura. Aquazzura had interesting sort of cutouts in some of their pumps. And so I could compare it to that too. I went with the patent as unidentified no more said, but honestly, I don't know. That's all to say. Because at the end of the day, we really can't totally tell sometimes. Sometimes there are photographers though, and I love them, who will get a great shot of the shoe. Carlos Alvarez from Spain, España. You are one of my favorites because you always get a shot of the shoes. And I love you for it. Thank you, Carlos. If you ever watch these videos, we do appreciate, because I think I'm a bit more a shoe person personally, I've discovered, than a purse person. I like my purses, but I really like my shoes. So anyways, guys, that is a wrap up of Queen Mary's look. Obviously, she had some amazing other looks as well during this visit. And it was obviously a historic one as it's their first one they've hosted. Hopefully we'll see more. We do have an upcoming state visit from the Emir of Qatar to the UK in early December. Now, obviously, I've made some plans this year and things have changed last minute, which is sad. But I do have to go to the Europe this December. I know that's just a terrible, terrible thing. I'm really excited. That's all to say. But I was already planning on going a little bit early in order to see maybe if I could catch, obviously, Catherine's Christmas concert. So I was already going to go early anyways to the UK early in December. But I think now I might actually spend pretty much the entire December month in Europe, particularly because I would love to cover that state visit. I probably won't get press credentials, but if I could even see some of the activities from the outside, that would be amazing, especially the tiara entrances. Like I really want to be there and watch them enter with the tiaras. Like that's like one of my goals. Obviously, the Swedish Nobels is that time of year as well. And there might be another state visit. That's all to say, is that there might be another state visit, something to cover. We do have a couple of actually museum exhibitions I really want to see that are showing off Queen Mary and Queen Maxima's wedding dresses. So I'm hoping to go and find those. They are not, let's say, right in the capital cities, which is a bit of a bummer, but I would also like to go and get pictures of the crown jewels of Denmark. So guys, thank you so much for watching. That's all to say, guys. Thank you so much for watching and your support. It really does mean a lot. It makes those trips happen. And so if you guys would like and subscribe, that would be awesome, because I can't wait to hopefully, fingers crossed, this December give you some amazing coverage of some of these big events. So guys, again, thank you so much for your support, and I shall see you soon. Bye.
We don't count the carats, we count the centuries.